things. Now, when I hired him, I had never paid anybody this much money to work in my store. This was a mom and pop jewelry store. My dad and I made the most money. We had salespeople. I had to make a decision. Was I willing to give this a shot? So what I did is I figured out how much 6 months of a salary would be for him. I took personal funds and put it into an account, and I said, if this gamble doesn't pay off, I will pay his payroll out of my pocket for 6 months. Mine and his contract was for 6 months, and at the end of 6 months we would part ways, and I would consider it a lesson learned. Never happened. Never touched any of the funds that I put into the account. He generated way more than what I had to pay him. He was well worth it. The point here is, a lot of small businesses are apprehensive about bringing somebody in that they may be training to become their competition. But you can't be concerned about that because you've got to have people around you to help you take things off. And they've got to be good or you're defeating your purpose. And my philosophy with Patrick is, I'm going to keep him happy. I'm going to keep him well compensated. And he sees how hard it is to own your own business. Hopefully, he'll realize that the paycheck he's getting is a whole lot easier than trying to open up his own business and go into competition with someone. If he ever does, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, and I'll wish him the best. Who knows, maybe I'll co-partner with him in his own store. But I can't let that stop me from moving in that direction. He and I coach our employees continuously. We have a sales training meeting every Wednesday morning. And we train all day long during the store. When somebody waits on a customer, and that customer leaves, if we have the opportunity, we break down what that sale happened previously, where they did well, where they could do better, because the constant and continuous feedback to the employees is what makes them better. It's what encourages them. And because they know you're paying attention, they know that you care about them as well. Patrick and I have off-site retreats. I try and have an off-site retreat once every year. I close the store on a Saturday. I have a Saturday and Sunday retreat where we run a beach house at Riceville Beach or wherever we may want to go. It gets everybody out of the store. It changes your mindset. The phone's not ringing. There's not somebody pulling on the door. You don't see stuff in the store that you remember you've got to do as soon as you open back up next week. And I cook food for them. I have them bring their families out in the evenings. But we spend an entire day focusing on what we need to do to make our store better. And everybody is at ease to say anything they want without repercussion. They can tell us what they hate about the store, what they love about the store, what needs to change, what I do wrong. No repercussions. Fully free to speak. And Patrick and I have been working on the handle, the Snowden standard, just the whole thing. And we've been just doing that through a process of we take notes while we watch our employees. Sometimes we'll give an employee a piece of paper and say, today, write down everything you do. Because I'm 45 and I've been in the jewelry business literally my entire life, sometimes I forget what a new person sees when they walk in the store. I don't see it the same way. I don't realize that it's difficult to change a battery in a watch. I don't realize that all of the rings should be, I don't realize that they don't know all the rings should be standing straight up or watches should be upside down. So I have the insight from the new employee as they take notes every day through their training as to what they did. We incorporate that. That process, our sales process and the handbook, are a work in progress and will probably continue to always be a work in progress. It's a binder so that we can remove pages, and as we change things, we swap them out. And then the accountability part. In my store, I try to be as fair as I can. Everybody gets a quota, and the way it works is they start making commission when they hit 50% of their goal. When they hit 75%, their commission increases, and then when they hit 100%, their commission increases again. If they don't make 50% of their goal, 3 months out of the year, then they have to find another job. And that may sound a little harsh, but if they can't reach half of their sales goal, they're not doing themselves a favor, they're not doing me a favor, and they're not cut out for the work that they're doing. So, some people say that it errs too much on the side of, I should expect more than 50% out of people to be successful, but that's what I've come up with that I think is fair with my employees. Anybody have any questions?
Did your father do marketing as well as business?
No, my father never marketed. He didn't do direct mail. He would do radio some. He would do television at Christmas.
You didn't talk about brand development when you took over the responsibility. I assume the assumption was that everybody knew who Snowden was.
No, that was one of the things that bothers everybody didn't know who Snowden was. 17 years, and I still have people who walk in the door and say, "How long have you been here?" Which just rips your heart out. You know? The brand development that we did is our Wilmington collection. Okay, the Wilmington collection is exclusive to our store, and it's things that we design. We've got a watch that's Wilmington Watch Company. You can only get it with us. There's some purposes for that. First of all, nobody competes with me on those products. Nobody can beat me down on price because they can't get it anywhere else. I chose Wilmington. You know, in the jewelry business, a lot of people will name their products after themselves. The Snowden watch. How many people here would really love to go and buy a Snowden watch? Nobody. Only person in this room that wants to wear a Snowden watch is me. A Wilmington watch. The Wilmington Watch Company. With some documentation that shows our old train station. Because, you know, this town used to be based on the train economy. And there were a lot of guys that carried railroad watches around. And those had to be worked on regularly. There's a history to Wilmington and watches if you tie it in that way. And so I named our watch after Wilmington because that speaks to people more than Snowden's does. And that's the way we brand our stores through the Wilmington collection.
How does your marketing and strategic planning go up against your competition? We'll say Perry's or How do
Okay.
you play up against them?
Okay. Alan Perry spends a ton of money on advertising. I don't have the type of money he has to spend on advertising, so I have to advertise less but make it more effective.
When you
So
said that
really,
specifically, 25,000, 50,000 a month, you spend in that kind of?
me,
No, he.
I don't know his budget. I really don't know his budget. I know it's a lot because he does lots of television, he does newspaper, does lots of newspaper, which I don't think the newspaper is effective at all personally. Well, I'm talking about the Wilmington Star now. Yeah, I'm not talking about trade publications. I'm talking about the Star News.
Okay.
I don't have any confidence in the Star News. He's on every radio station. I don't know what his budget is, but it's huge. And you know what I can say about that is, if he approaches his advertising the way I do, and that is every dollar he spends on advertising, he expects a return on his investment, and he's probably doing incredibly well. But if he's not, he may be doing his money well.
Fair enough.
About website, you mentioned you have any leads through your website?
You know what? That's growing. We do have, you know, we've got a pretty good website. We have the ability to search our diamond inventory on our website, and all of our bridal mountings. We're trying to grow the other products on our website, but that would probably require me to hire somebody that could do photography and that kind of stuff, because I don't have time to do that. Which goes back to the time management thing. There's so many things that pop up in your day. You really have to decide what you're going to do. But with our website, if you do a search on Google for diamonds, Wilmington, North Carolina, I'll be in the top 3 to 5 all the time. Wedding sets, you know, certain keywords. And I do have customers that come in. That is starting to grow. And honestly, the bridal area, which is where, if I have somebody that comes in off the website, it's because of bridal. That's where our growth has come from in the last several years. We've really focused on increasing our bridal and letting people know that we do bridal. My personal philosophy is, in this bad economy, there are more marriages, in my opinion. And it's because, one, people believe the myth that 2 can live cheaper than 1. I'm not sure that's true. And the other one is, I think whenever things are bad, people are looking for some stability in life, and marriage tends to give people that. So we've seen our bridal increase, and a lot of it we have had several people come in through our website. And we're trying to increase that. Email marketing, website effectiveness, that's one of the things that we really focus on now, on increasing how that works for us. Somebody else? Yes, sir.
In this economy, or even when your dad had a store, do you face the challenge of, this is a $2,500 piece of jewelry, and as a prospect or as a customer, I say to you, would you take $2,300 for that?
Happens all day long, every day. My wife, for some reason, gets very insulted by that, but she doesn't work in the store, so I guess it matters. Everybody comes into the jewelry store is looking for a deal. And you know, there are some things we're willing to do that with, and then there's some things we're not. Wilmington Collection never gets discounted, under any circumstances. Of the things in the store, I'm willing to work with my customer and try and meet a budget that they're in. but I'm not willing to do it to a point that I